The Senate will please come to order. We'll begin this Wednesday morning in a moment of silence in lieu of a devotional. Thank you. Are there any announcements as we begin today? Seeing none, hearing none, we will move right into the orders of the day. There have been a number of requests to pass over various bills. There's been a request to pass over H737, S33, as well as S234. We'll move on to H165. We have on the calendar today H465, an act relating to boards and commissions. The House has proposed an amendment to the Senate proposal of amendment as set forth on page 5456 of today's calendar. And the underlying question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment to the Senate proposal of amendment on H465? The senator from Rutland, Senator Collmore, is recognized for the report.
Thank you, Madam President. So there are three changes that the other body made to the bill as it came across. The first change is that the budget will only include per diems that will be increased from their current fiscal year rate. The second change removes the ability of a department or agency to increase the per diem rate above the level included in their budget submission when the General Assembly is not in session. And the third change is it strikes the report regarding per diems from the Department of Finance and Management and instead requires the Sunset Advisory Commission to submit a written report to both the House and Senate Appropriations Committees and Government Operations Committees with a recommendation whether to establish a maximum per diem and to recommend any legislative actions necessary to increase uniformity and equality of per diems. The Senate Government Operations Committee met and voted unanimously to concur with these changes.
The question then is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment to the Senate proposal on H465? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you concur with the House proposal of amendment to the Senate proposal of amendment on H465. We'll now move on to H739. An act relating to capital construction state bonding budget adjustment. The House has proposed to the Senate. The House has proposed an amendment to the Senate proposal of amendment as set forth on page 5457 of today's calendar. Again, the automatic question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment to the Senate proposal of amendment on H739? The senator from Caledonia, Senator Benning, is recognized for the report.
Thanks, Madam President. The other body sent over to us four fairly simple tweaks to the language, if you will, capital bill. Tweak number one, we are dealing with an HVAC system in the State House as a result of some mold issues. We were hoping to have that issue resolved this year. That's not going to happen. In the meantime, BGS has done a study on the comparison between a boiler system that is propane heated as opposed to a heat pump system, come up with cost estimates. There is a difference. The heat pump system is more expensive, but instead of trying to resolve everything this year and make a decision between the two, the folks in the other body just basically kicked the can down the road a little bit as a result of the delay in our construction season and have asked for BGS to come back with some options to talk about that by January 15th, 2023. BGS is not permitted to expend any funds until the the General Assembly has weighed in on the question. There is some conversation around the nursing simulation laboratories appropriation. The appropriation remains the same. We have instead some language that suggests directly appropriating these funds to the Vermont State Colleges and Norwich University, with $800,000 going to the state colleges and $200,000 going to the university's nursing school. We're also adding a reporting requirement for the state colleges, UVM and Norwich University, with respect to their individual needs for nursing simulation laboratories. There is a series of rooms at 109 State Street, that's the brick building over here, governor's office. Those rooms are going to be kept for legislative use until at least June 30th of 2023. And finally, you may recall conversation about the Walleye Association receiving an additional $25,000 in their appropriation for self-cleaning storage tanks. The folks on the other side of the building decided that they wanted to make it very clear that the additional $25,000 was specifically for those self-cleaning storage tanks. And at this point, the Senate Institutional Committee reviewed these proposed changes. We found ourselves in agreement with those changes, but asked for this body's support.
The question then is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal amendment to the Senate proposal of amendment on H 739? Are you ready for the question? Senator from Addison is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. May I inquire of the reporter?
Okay.
Thank you. Looking at the language about the nursing school programs, I believe you said that colleges and Norwich University, the two institutions designated for the grant. On the bottom of page 5469, though, in the report, it's also asking you to report back. I'm just wondering why they're still included in the report.
All three of those institutions are desirous of expanding the nursing programs. And all of those organizations came to us talking about the desire to have money for these programs. But no one at the time was prepared to tell us exactly what they were going to do. The idea behind this each tweak is to make sure each body gets a report specific proposed plans. So the next time that the institutions committees meet, in order to come up with funding for their sources, we'll at least have these plans in front of them and have some idea on what the game plan is.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. But it does actually appropriate funding to Norwich, I believe, at least, and perhaps the state colleges. On page 5461, there's a $200,000 appropriation to Norwich.
That is
nursing school. So is there also a direct appropriation in the bill for state colleges for this purpose?
Yes.
So they're reporting, after they've been appropriated the funding, they're reporting on their need for the funding? I'm just confused about the timeline.
You may recall, Madam President, that when the initial capital bill came to us, the other body, it had an appropriation for $4 million attached to this conversation. We, on the Senate side, took back $3 million of that because nobody was ready to left $1 million in order to foster the idea and hopefully provide at least some of them who might be further along in the process with some money in order to get that advance. In this particular case, the language that you see here divides that $1 million into two components. $800,000 going to the state colleges, and then $200,000 going to the universities. They are all expected, however, to come back because they will be back asking for more money next year. But they are all expected to come back with a report suggesting how they can spend additional money if we come up with that for them.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment to the Senate proposal of amendment on H 739? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and you've concurred with the House proposal of amendment to the Senate proposal of amendment on H 739. We have now on the calendar for third reading, H 175, an act relating to the beverage container redemption system. Third reading was ordered on May 10th. Are there any amendments for third reading? Senator from Addison is recognized. For an amendment?
No. Sorry, Madam President, not for an amendment.
Let me call the question first then. Are there any amendments before third reading? Please listen to the third reading of the bill.
H 175, an act relating to the beverage container redemption system.
The question now is, shall the bill pass in concurrence? Are you ready for the question? And the senator from Addison is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank my colleagues for lots of questions yesterday and offer, and I appreciate moving the bill forward. I also want to offer a little information by way of reassurance. There was some consternation that the full details of how the ballot bill as proposed as an extended producer responsibility organization, PRO, would be implemented going forward. I would just sort of totally point out to all of us that no one in the room, myself included, can fully describe the operations of the current ballot bill, much less the version that we're advancing. And we operate with a certain level of trust, piece of jurisdiction, that thing to move forward the best work. I think that's true in this bill. It was based on a rigorous examination of logistics to be able to cost affordably expand the number of containers in the process. If we had to fully understand all the technology and the details of everything, I would suggest that we all need to get rid of our cell phones. We can no longer use banks. We can't go to the grocery store because we don't know where that meat is from. The list is endless. So again, in my most human nature way, I'd just like to say, we have vetted it carefully. We would appreciate the Senate's continued support.
The question is, shall the bill pass in concurrence? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
I'm going to again ask for a division. All those voting aye, please stand or raise your hand if you're joining us virtually. One hand, please. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. Those voting nay, please stand or raise a hand. Thank you.
Roll call.
The senator from Chittenden has requested a roll call vote.
Madam President, I'm wondering if you could just, I withdraw my question.
We're in the middle of a vote. So I do need to confer with the secretary. We're in the middle of division and a roll call was called.
Questions, we're moving. So, you ready?
The secretary has kindly asked to call the roll.
Count on the phone.
Senator Ballant.
Yes.
Senator Baruch.
Yes.
Senator Benning.
No.
Senator Bray.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
No.
Senator Campion. Senator Campion. Senator Chittenden,
No.
Senator Clarkson,
Yes.
Senator Collmore,
No.
Senator Cummings,
Yes.
Senator Hardy,
Yes.
Senator Hooker,
Yes.
Senator Ingalls,
No.
Senator Kitchell,
No.
Senator Lyons,
Yes.
Senator McDonald,
Yes.
Senator Mazza,
No.
Senator McCormick,
Yes.
Senator Nitka,
No.
Senator Parent,
No.
Senator Pearson,
Yes.
Senator Perschlick,
Yes.
Senator Polina, Senator Rom Hinsdale,
Yes.
Senator Sears,
No.
Senator Sorotkin,
Yes.
Senator Starr,
No.
Senator Terenzini,
No.
Senator Westman,
Yes.
Senator White,
No.
Senator Campion,
Yes.
Please listen to the results of your vote. Yeas 17, the nays 13, and you've passed H 175 in concurrence. We have on the calendar for third reading, H 512, an act relating to modernizing land records and notarial acts law. Third reading was ordered on May 10th. Are there any amendments before third reading? Please listen to the third reading of H 512.
H 512, an act relating to modernizing land records and notarial acts law.
The question now is, shall the bill pass in concurrence? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've passed H 512 in concurrence. We have on the calendar for third reading H 533, an act relating to converting civil forfeiture of property and drug-related prosecutions into a criminal process. Please listen to the third reading of H 533. Are there any amendments? Apologies. Are there any amendments before
Thank you.
third reading? The Senator from Bennington is recognized. Apologies, Senator.
Madam President, on page 5072, to H 533, a bill that has to do with forfeiture of drug proceeds or drug-related prosecution. Working with this body, after we passed the bill the other day, they asked for a couple of changes that seemed reasonable. The first amendment would add the Senate Committee on Judiciary and the House Committee on Judiciary to receiving the report that is due from the working group. The second amendment deals with the disposition of property. And as I said during the report on the bill, the current Governor's Criminal Justice and Substance Abuse Cabinet are the ones who determine how any forfeiture money is allocated. Currently, there have been two forfeitures in 2015, but the Governor's Criminal Justice and Substance Abuse Cabinet no longer exists. So if there were forfeiture, there would be nobody to allocate that funding. This amendment would seek to have the agency of administration allocate, and you'll see in the later amendment that we sunset that in 2024 so that the report can come back and determine which group is really best to allocate any corporate. So that's the third amendment. Madam President, the Senate Judiciary Committee did not meet on the bill. However, I did provide copies to members of the committee. Heard back from the majority of the committee who do support the amendment, and I would ask support from the Senate for this amendment to H533.
The question is, shall the bill be amended as moved by the senator from Bennington? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've amended H533 as moved by the senator from Bennington. Are there any additional amendments before third reading? Please listen to the third reading of H533.
H533, an act relating to converting civil forfeiture of property and drug-related prosecutions into a criminal process.
The question now is, shall the bill pass in concurrence with proposal of amendment? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've passed H533 in concurrence with proposal amendment. We do now have on the calendar for third reading, SR 26, a Senate resolution urging the Vermont congressional delegation to introduce and pursue the enactment of legislation authorizing residency eligibility for the more than 800 international victims of the Vermont EB-5 scandal. Third reading of SR 26 was ordered on May 10th. Are there any amendments to our third reading? Please listen to the third reading of SR 26.
SR 26, Senate resolution urging the Vermont congressional delegation to introduce and pursue the enactment of legislation authorizing permanent U.S. residency eligibility for the more than 800 international victims of the Vermont EB-5 scandal.
The question now is, shall the resolution pass? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've passed SR 26. We have on the calendar now for third reading SR 27, a Senate resolution reaffirming the friendship between Vermont and the Republic of China, Taiwan, and supporting both enhanced United States-Taiwan bilateral relations and Taiwan's participation in the international community. Third reading was ordered on May 10th. Are there any amendments to the resolution before? Please listen to the third reading of SR 27.
SR 27, Senate resolution reaffirming the friendship between Vermont and the Republic of China, Taiwan, and supporting both enhanced United States-Taiwan bilateral relations and Taiwan's participation in the international community.
You've heard the third reading. The question now is, shall the resolution pass? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've passed SR 27. Unless there's a request to pass over, and I will pause for just a moment, we will move to H 730. We have on the calendar for action H 730, an act relating to alcoholic beverages in the Department of Liquor and Lottery. It was referred to the Committee on Economic Development, Housing and General Affairs, which reports has considered the bill and recommends the bill be amended as set forth on page 5473, 5499 of today's calendar. That when so amended, the bill ought to pass. The bill was then recommendation of amendment of the Committee on Economic Development, Housing and General Affairs be amended as set forth on pages 5499 to 5501 of today's calendar, and that when so amended, the bill ought to pass. pass. The bill was then referred to the Committee on Appropriations. Reports Development, Housing, and Social Affairs be further amended as set forth on page 5501 of today's calendar, and also amended, the bill ought to pass. Please listen to the second reading of H 730.
H 730, an act relating to alcoholic beverages and the Department of Liquor and Lottery.
Senator from Chittenden, Senator Sorotkin, I believe. With apologies, Senator. The senator from Chittenden, Senator Ram Hinsdale, is recognized for the report of the committee.
Thank you, Madam President. H 730 is a bipartisan economic development bill that grows the economy and supports our local spirits and cider producers. It does so by expanding the market for ready-to-drink spirits beverages, giving Vermont consumers over 21 years of age more choice for beverages with lower alcohol content, ensures efficiency within the Department of Liquor and Lottery, and supports a smooth transition into more tech-friendly administrative practices. Like many areas of our law, there is a bit of an alphabet soup in areas of liquor. And so I just want to share some of the acronyms that I will say multiple times in this report. So ready-to-drink spirits beverages are often called RTDs. As some folks may know, Department of Liquor and Lottery is often DLL. And we will be talking about alcohol by volume, so an easy comparator across all forms of alcohol to know its overall alcohol content by percentage, and that is ABV. Included in the bill are 4 technical corrections. The first will allow the department to appoint 1 deputy commissioner instead of 2, reflecting the combined liquor and lottery divisions. This will enable Liquor and Lottery to repurpose the vacant deputy commissioner position into a strategic planning role that better suits the needs of the department. 2, it allows the department to conduct background checks through the Vermont Crime Information Center, VCIC, for licensee applications to ensure the exclusion of expunged charges, which the legislature has worked for diligently in the past years. There is a clarification of the department's rare spirits raffle that allows third-class licensees, bars and restaurants to enter a raffle for an opportunity to purchase a bottle of rare spirits. Finally, with the launch of its Salesforce licensing portal this summer, the department is moving from an annual renewal date for licenses of May 1st to a staggered licensing renewal process. To do so, the department needs authority to stagger the renewal for liquor licenses that are set to expire in 2023 and 2024. Additionally, H 730 creates a definition for alcohol-based RTDs, categorizing them as an alcoholic beverage containing more than 1% alcohol by volume, ABV, and not more than 12% ABV at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, obtained by distillation and packaged in containers of not more than 24 ounces. Our committee received both written and verbal testimony from more than 20 organizations in the beer, wine, and alcohol spirits sectors, as well as the department. We consulted distillers, distributors, manufacturers, brewers, wineries, retailers, and addressed public safety concerns. The department presented data from the minor compliance program that did not reveal greater youth access at grocery or convenience stores. In fact, compliance rates were highest at these retail establishments. Ultimately, the committee decided to allow RTDs to be sold and distributed in second-class licensees, grocery stores, convenience stores, gas stations, etc., along with other alcohol beverage products with similar or higher ABV levels that are already sold in these retail establishments like beer, cider, wine, malt-based cocktails, and hard seltzers. All spirits-based RTDs over 12% ABV in containers larger than 24 ounces will remain within the distribution model of DLL. So that is at the 80 liquor stores that are state sanctioned and controlled. The new RTD spirit beverage category will be taxed at $1.10 per gallon. Wine and beer over 6% ABV is taxed at 55 cents per gallon, and beer under 6% is taxed at 26.5 cents per gallon. Finally, on RTDs, the Joint Fiscal Office submitted a revenue-neutral fiscal note. The Department of Taxes was consulted. That note is available on your Committee on Economic Development's website. H 730 will also include a new definition for cider, a beverage that previously was undefined in Title VII. Ciders under 7% ABV will be taxed like beer at 26.5 cents per gallon, and ciders over 7% ABV will be taxed like wine. You will hear an amendment from your Finance Committee that ensures this change does not affect the revenues of the state in FY23, instead takes effect in FY24 with a minimal fiscal impact. The bill also includes a minor change to the special event permit that will allow consumers to explore the special events grounds within the event's boundaries, such as a dance floor or food area, with their alcohol beverage, not limiting them to the vendor space. H730 included 4 proposed studies as passed by your Senate Economic Development Committee. These related to evaluating the implementation of the RTD change, looking at the privatization of fortified wines, better understanding the market around direct-to-consumer spirit shipping and how that might impact the revenues of the state, and an overall assessment of full privatization. These studies were removed by your Senate Appropriations Committees, and we did hear testimony from our DLL commissioner that there were still components of these studies that they would be able to conduct regardless. I will now ever so briefly go through a section by section of the bill. So the overall sections 1 through 36 amend various sections of Title VII to define cider, move ready-to-drink spirits beverages from exclusive retail and distribution by ELL and DLL, and allow these beverages to be distributed and sold in the same retail streams as malt and vinous beverages. Additionally, the sections change the licensing scheme for the manufacture and sale of RTDs in order to accommodate the shift from exclusive state control. Finally, these sections update Title VII tax statutes to apply a gallonage tax to RTDs in lieu of an excise tax. Section 1 is definitions. Sections 2 through 36 essentially amend statutes related to distribution and retail sale of malt or vinous beverages to now include RTDs. With that, I feel like I can skip a lot of this. Sections 37 and 38 relate to criminal background checks. These sections grant authority to DLL to conduct criminal background checks on applicants for alcoholic beverage, tobacco, and lottery licenses. Section 39 is the change to the deputy commissioner position. It amends 7 VSA 101 to reduce the number of deputy commissioners to 1. Section 40 is the rare products raffle. This amends 7 VSA subsection 5 to allow a third-class licensee to purchase a ticket for the rare and unusual products raffle. Previously, tickets were available to the general public, and it was not clear whether a bar or restaurant could apply as a licensee. Section 41 is the staggered licenses. This section authorizes DLL to extend the expiration date of current licenses and to stagger the effective date of licenses issued in 2022 and 2023. Section 43 is the effective dates. Section 41, staggered licenses, is effective upon passage, and all other sections are effective on July 1st, 2022. As you heard, we had an extensive witness list. It included our Office of Legislative Counsel, the reporter of the bill in the other chamber, our commissioner for the Department of Taxes, our Joint Fiscal Office, Caledonia Spirits, the National Council on Problem Gambling, Smuggler's Notch Distillery, and the Distilled Spirits Council of Vermont, our Office of Department of Liquor and Lottery, the Sports Betting Alliance, North Branch Vineyards, the Beer Institute, the New Hampshire Lottery Commission, the Wyoming Gaming Commission, and Lost Nation Brewing and the Vermont Brewers Association. Madam President, the committee vote on the bill was 5-0-0, and we ask for the body's support.
The senator from Chittenden, Senator Srotkin, is now recognized for the report of the Committee on Finance.
Thank you, Madam President. We had a spirited debate in the Senate Finance Committee and revolved around mostly how much money may be gained or lost as a result of moving ready-to-drink beverages from the warehouses and the 802 stores to the grocery stores. We heard from our legislative counsel, from the commissioner, and from JFO. JFO's opinion was that there wouldn't be any significant loss as a result of that move. There is a belt and suspender clause dealing with direct apps to assure that in case the estimates are off, that the money would still come out of the reserve fund of the Liquor and Lottery Department, so the general fund would be made whole. We made two changes in our amendment. One is we set up a third gallonage tax presently for beverages that are under 6%. The gallonage tax is 26 cents. Over 6%, it's 55 cents. And now for ready-to-drink beverages, it will be $1.10. The second amendment deals with the issue of cider. In the Economic Development Committee, we had added ciders to be under the 55-cent gallonage tax, under the 26 gallonage tax, because they're at 7% generally when they're fermented. But we learned from the Joint Fiscal Committee that there would be about $130,000 loss to the Liquor and Lottery Fund by that move, and we decided in Finance to postpone that for a year before that took effect. Thank you, Madam President. The voting committee was 4-3.
The senator from Lamoille, Senator Westman, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Appropriations.
The Appropriations, Madam President, the Appropriations Committee took a look at the bill. We have an amendment, and that amendment can be found on 5501. And basically, there are a number of studies that are in the bill as it came to the Appropriations Committee. The Appropriations Committee chose to take a look at that and remove Section 42, which are those studies. There is a ready-to-drink spirits beverage study. There is a fortified wine study and a study on consumer shipping of spirits. The fourth study was a study of privatization of liquor. That study, we took testimony from our Joint Fiscal Office. Our Joint Fiscal Office, number one, said they don't have the ability within their staff. This is not an area where they have expertise in, so it was problematic for them to do the study. And they have a lot of work to do over there, and this was not funded. So the Appropriations Committee, in their amendment, in this amendment, moved to strike that. I might say that subsequent to our amendment showing up on the calendar, there will be an amendment from the senator from Franklin addressing in that fourth instance the privatization. There will be an amendment, and our committee will look in appropriations, took testimony from the member from Franklin, and will look favorably on that. But in the overall, that privatization piece is we will be the piece that the member from Franklin will take a look at. We voted 7-0-0 to support striking Section 42.
Thank you. There are a number of amendments, but first we'll go through the amendments as proposed by the various committees. The first question is, shall the report of the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs be amended as recommended by the Committee on Finance? The senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a point of clarification. When the reporter reported it, he said the vote was 4-3, and I wonder if that's 4-3-0 or 4-0-3.
Madam President, in the Committee of Finance, it was 4-3-0.
Thank you.
The question is, shall the report of the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs be amended as recommended by the Committee on Finance? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've amended the report as recommended by the Committee on Finance. The senator from Franklin, Senator Brock, has a recommendation. I want to confer with the secretary. We have to do one more. Right. Great. So we'll Thank you. The senator from Franklin, Senator Brock, is recognized for amendment.
Thank you, Madam President. As the reporter of the appropriations amendment has indicated, Section 42 of the underlying bill was deleted. One of the sections in that bill called for a number of reports, including a report on the issue of privatization. We have a market in Vermont in which the state is the seller, the state is the operator of stores, the state is in fact the manager of liquor control. Increasingly, we see other states who have a different model. We have a retail model, retail stores are the sellers, and the state is solely a regulator. One of the studies that was deleted for lack of funding was a study designed to take an independent look at whether or not we should have a control model, which is the model we have right now, or whether or not we should have a privatized model. And I think it's particularly important when we do a study like that we do it with independent eyes who don't have essentially a stake in the outcome. And that's a study that I think could be particularly important and also could be particularly useful to us in evaluating what we do and whether or not the state's interests are being properly protected and whether or not the consumer's interests are also being properly addressed, as well as the various and sundry players, each of whom has an interest. And interestingly enough, during the testimony that we all heard about this bill, everybody has a slightly different interest that don't necessarily coincide. I felt, as I believe members of our committee felt, when we looked at the issue of what studies we wanted, it was particularly important to do this independent look. I'm grateful to the Committee on Appropriations for assisting in finding the funds necessary to do this particular privatization study, which I think could be illuminating for all of us. And so what this particular amendment does is it calls for the independent privatization study to be done on or before January of 2024 and examine issues such as the impact on state revenue, taxation and enforcement models that can be used in a private model, and a recommendation as to whether the state should amend its regulatory structures to implement a privatized alcohol beverage. The contracting for this independent study is tasked to the Agency of Administration to oversee, and the report back is reporting back to the committees of the legislature responsible for this area, and a sum of $50,000 from appropriations is set aside to fund this particular study. And I recommend and ask the body to approve it. We have gone to the Committee on Appropriations and presented this idea to them and discussed it in detail. Thank you, Madam President.
The senator from Lamoille is recognized, and then the senator from Windsor.
Madam President, we took a look at this. The approval from the Appropriations Committee was unanimous of this. It is funded now when the underlying study before was not funded, and it will be with the Secretary of Administration, which moves away from joint fiscal with it. So we approve this amendment, this substitute amendment unanimously.
Senator from Windsor is recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to lend support to this work as I have proposed this in our Senate Economic Development Committee. The minority and majority leader support the same thing. And in part, it is because in this bill, in the underlying bill that came to us from the House, we saw yet another effort to slough off pieces of the Department of Liquor and Lottery, to slough off pieces of that regulatory oversight and move it yet another piece into the private sector. And I having seen this effort now for several years and having looked at the totality of some of their challenges in terms of warehousing and office space and the challenge of not having enough CDL drivers, we've looked at all that, but I do not want to see us do this without intentionality. I really want to have independent eyes looking at this so that we intentionally go forward one way or the other, but to stop nickel and diming the diminution of the Department of Liquor and Lottery. Thank you.
The question is, shall the report of the Committee on Appropriations be amended as moved by the senator from Franklin? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And you've amended the proposal amendment as proposed by the Committee on Appropriations. The question now is, shall the report of the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs as amended be further amended as recommended by the Committee on Appropriations as amended? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you've amended the report as recommended by the Committee on Appropriations as amended. The senator from Chittenden, Senator Sorokin, also has an amendment, which is found on page 5501 of today's calendar. Senator from Chittenden is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Several days after the bill left our committee in Economic Development, Legislative Council came forward with several technical amendments. They're all technical in nature. I'll go through them. The first instance of amendment adds ready-to-drink spirit beverages to the definition of alcohol beverages, certificate of approval, festival permit, retail dealer, and wholesale dealer permit. This amendment corrects the inadvertent omission of ready-to-drink spirit beverages from these definitions. The second instance of amendment in section 13 corrects the number of beverage categories available to festival events from 4 to 5. This reflects the addition of RTDs, ready to drink, to the educational sampling event statute. And it adds RTD per gallon tax to subsection F. Third instance of amendment removes a Scrivener's error from the end of subdivision A1 in the Economic Development report. A clause reading 1 ounce per person of was inadvertently left in this section after the committee removed a reference to fortified wines. The fourth instance of amendment has already been taken care of by the Finance Committee amendment that was just passed. And the fifth instance of amendment deals with the transitional provision. It changes the years of the transitional period from 2022 to 2023 to 2023 and 2024, as DLL has already issued licenses renewals for 2022. The renewal date is April 30th. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator, one point of clarification. Did you say, or maybe I misheard on the fourth instance of amendment, is that offered or not being offered?
It's not being offered. I should have withdrawn that. Thank you.
The question is, shall the report of the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs as amended be amended as moved by the senator from Chittenden? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've amended the proposal of amendment as proposed by the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs as amended. I know that there is one additional amendment, but it is to the bill. So my understanding is that we first need to adopt the full proposal of amendment. So the question now is, shall the Senate propose to the House to amend the bill as recommended by the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs as amended? Are you ready for the question? The senator from Chittenden is recognized.
May I inquire of the reporter? Or is this the appropriate time, or should I wait until after the next?
No, I think this is the perfect time, and the reporter of the underlying bill, I guess, a proposal of amendment, which would be the senator.
Yes, Madam President.
Yes, you may.
So I'm looking at the RTDs, which are limited to 12% by volume at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. And is there anything in our current process or in the legislation proposed that will allow for testing of these products, at least initially as they get placed onto the market, to ensure that they are at the level specified in the bill?
Madam President, I don't recall us taking specific testimony around testing these products beyond what's normally required of a product that is on the shelves and considered ready for consumption. I can ask for a brief recess to get more information if that would be desired by my colleague from Linden.
Before third reading would be appropriate, adequate.
Madam President, I request.
Senator from Linden, thank you.
I request a short recess.
Senate will
There is.
call the gavel. The Senate will please come to order. We are returning from a brief recess, and the senator from Chittenden, Senator Baum Hinsdale, has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I think a brief recess was helpful just to ensure for our colleagues as well as for anyone listening that these products are not new and are tested as anything would be tested that is available for consumption by the general public and shipped across state boundaries. So these products are already sold in our state-sanctioned liquor outlets, and this would be moving them to grocery store shelves, et cetera. The manufacturer already does have to certify testing, and that testing is verified both at the state and federal level. And this might be an opportunity to add that for our local spirits producers entering this space of RTDs. They're adding a lot of other local farm to table products, a lot of our local fruits and herbs and things like that. So these products are already being made and are available. This just expands where they are available, and there is quality assurance in place.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have another question, and it's actually more of a comment than a question, so thank you, Madam President. As we move additional substances out onto the market, I think we all need to remember that during the pandemic, substance use disorder increased, including that related to alcohol. So we don't, in health and welfare, we don't take this lightly, and we would hope that going forward, that reports coming back can begin to look at the implications of all of the substances that we have been putting on the market. And we certainly do support the local folks who are beginning to find new ways of presenting their products, and but we also want to ensure that we're not providing access to minors and others where we have not in the past. So, Madam President, that ends my comment and my question, but there is nothing in this current legislation, proposed legislation, that has anything about Department of Health data. I did hear that the Department of Public Safety was involved in the testimony, and that's a good thing. But I think going forward, all the substances that we're putting out, we need to take care that we're not causing rather than preventing increased dependence on substances. So thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate propose to the House to amend the bill as recommended by the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
Ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you've proposed to the House to amend the bill as recommended by the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs. The senator from Chittenden, Senator Ron Hinsdale, is now recognized for an amendment to the bill, which can be found on 506 of today's calendar.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a very small and minor technical correction to the overall bill, but it's a good opportunity to recognize and celebrate, in my humble opinion, our relatively new commissioner of DLL, who just wants to make sure that no technical inconsistencies exist, because those can have a real life impact on this particular industry. And so now that we have a different definition of ready to drink spirits beverages, that they be packaged in containers not greater than 24 fluid ounces in volume. She just wanted to make sure that there's a lot of clarity in the definition between spirits that are sold in our state-sanctioned outlets and ready-to-drink spirits beverages that are available in second-class licensee establishments.
The question is, shall the Senate proposal of amendment be further amended as moved by the senator from Chittenden? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the proposal of amendment has been further amended as moved by the senator from Chittenden on H 730.
Oh, no.
Can't even find that.
Senator from Wyndham is recognized.
It's the problem with men's clothes, there are too many pockets.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Days, I feel like a teacher up here. It's okay. The question now is, shall the bill be read for the third time? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you've ordered third reading of H 730. We have on the calendar today S 226. Unless there's a request to pass over, the senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. We'll be passing over S226 and H 740, please.
That does conclude the action calendar for today. The senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you. I move that the rules be suspended and that the following bills appearing on the calendar for notice be taken up for immediate action. H74, an act relating to making miscellaneous changes concerning self-storage businesses. H244, an act relating to authorizing the natural organic reduction of human remains. H477, an act relating to leave for crime victims. H559, an act relating to workers' compensation. S91, an act relating to the Parent-Child Center Network. S173, an act relating to the State House Art Collection.
S-181, an act relating to authorizing the miscellaneous regulatory authority for municipal governments. S-201, an act relating to best management practices for trapping. S-81, an act relating to hunting coyotes with dogs.
The senator from Wyndham has moved that the rules be suspended and the following bills be taken up for immediate consideration. H-74, H-244, H-477, H-559, S-91, S-173, S-181, S-201, and S-281. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've suspended the rules, and we'll take up the following bills for immediate consideration. H-74, H-244, H-477, H-559, S-91, S-173, S-181, S-201, and S-281. We now have on the calendar, and again, I will begin at the top and take a moment of pause. There'll be a request to pass over. We now have on the calendar for action H-74. An act relating to making miscellaneous changes concerning self-storage businesses. It was read for the first time on January 21st. Referred to the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs, which reports that it's considered the bill and recommends that the bill ought to pass. Please listen to the second reading of H-74.
H-74. 74, an act relating to making miscellaneous changes concerning self-storage businesses.
The senator from Franklin, Senator Roth, is recognized for the report of Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs.
Thank you, Madam President. This particular bill deals with self-storage units and the regulation and use of self-storage units. 49 states and the District of Columbia have self-storage lien laws, and these lien laws provide a non-judicial foreclosure process for addressing situations where self-storage occupants fail to meet their rent, and the storage operator must sell the property in order to satisfy the operator's lien for the rent. Approximately 1 to 3% nationally of such liens are dealt with in that fashion. Vermont has a lien law and has had one since 2007, hasn't been updated since that time. But since that time, approximately 40 states, including the surrounding states, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine, have modernized their self-storage lien laws. What this bill does is it attempts to do that. It seeks to bring the act in line with modernization efforts associated with other states. And we tried this with H-606, which was passed by the House in early 2000. But then the pandemic happened, and this hasn't been addressed since then. Currently, this bill is designed to do several things. Currently, notices informing occupants that their rent is delinquent, their property will be sold if it's not paid, are sent by certified mail. And certified mail is an uncertain way to reach self-storage occupants, approximately 50% of which are in transition, because it requires the occupant's signature and doesn't automatically forward even if the Postal Service has an occupant's new address. The bill provides an option to send the required notices by first-class mail with a certificate of mailing or certified mail. The first-class mail with a certificate of mailing provides proof the notice has been sent, and this kind of mail is automatically forwarded by the post office to the applicant's new address. It provides a greater assurance that the occupant will in fact receive the notice. More than 40 states, including Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine, allow operators to send notices in this manner. About 50% of self-storage occupants, as I mentioned, are in transition. And unlike physical addresses, email addresses typically remain the same when an individual moves. The proposed legislation gives occupants the choice of receiving the lien notices by email only. If the operator offers his notice by electronic mail, the occupant may elect to receive the notice by mail by indicating the election in the rental agreement. If the operator sends the required second notice of default to the occupant by email, doesn't receive a response, return receipt or delivery confirmation from the same electronic mail address within 2 days, then before proceeding with the sale, the operator has to send the notice to the occupant either by certified mail or by first-class mail with a certificate of mailing. 38 other states, including again Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, allow occupants to receive notices by email. The bill also provides for simplified vehicle towing, because often vehicles are also put in self-storage facilities. Many storage operators don't want to go through the DMV process for selling a titled vehicle. The process can be cumbersome. Many operators are not frequently called upon to sell these types of vehicles. Proposed legislation would provide operators with the option to have a vehicle, watercraft, or trailer towed after the rent is at least 51 days past due, which is the minimum timeline for selling non-paying occupant property. The towing company would then have to comply with the DMV process for selling a titled vehicle. The bill also provides alternatives to newspaper advertising. The Act currently requires the operator advertise the sale once a week for 2 consecutive weeks in a newspaper of general circulation where the storage facility is located. The purpose of the advertising is to drive bidders to the sale. In more than 10 years since the Act's passage, newspaper readership has dropped significantly. Other states have begun to recognize that newspapers are no longer an effective way to reach an audience. In the self-storage context, online auction sites and storage facility mailing sites are typically the most effective means of reaching potential bidders. Proposed legislation would allow for web and email advertising in addition to newspaper advertising. The alternative method of advertising is deemed reasonable if 3 or more independent bidders bid or view the sale. Again, 15 states, including Massachusetts, allow storage operators to advertise through reasonable alternatives to newspaper advertising. New Hampshire and Maine do not require any advertising of lien sales at all. The Act currently allows for late fees, but is silent on the amount. The proposed legislation includes a late fee standard of up to $20 or 20% of the monthly rent, whichever is greater. The storage operator may charge less than this, but is prohibited from charging more. Proposed legislation protects consumers by providing an upper limit to any late fee and grace period of 5 days before any late fees may be charged. The $20, 20% late fee standard has been adopted in 26 states, including Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. A recent trend for self-storage is to allow lien sales to occur online. Online sales expand the audience of potential bidders, allowing bidders to submit bids over the course of several days without attending a one-day sale in person. More bidders increase the likelihood of higher bids, any sale proceeds going toward reducing the occupant's debt. The Act currently requires that the sale occur at the storage facility or nearest suitable location. Proposed legislation would clarify that the online sales are permissible. In addition, regardless of whether the sale is at the facility or online, the bill prohibits the operator from purchasing the property at a lien sale. 28 states, including Massachusetts and New Hampshire, specifically allow online sales to happen. Contractual value limitation prevents the operator to limit the value of goods that can be stored within the occupant's individual unit. This establishes at the outset a stored relationship between the operator and the occupant, the maximum value of goods that can be stored in the facility. This is important because the operator's storage is done on a self-service basis. The operator doesn't know what the occupant has stored or the value of the property. The occupant has the option of insuring the property, but the operator does not. The operator may permit a greater value of goods to be stored if the occupant needs to obtain insurance to cover the greater cost. 874 also would impose obligations on the operator and purchaser if the storage space contains personal information at the time of the lien sale. The operator is prohibited from knowingly selling personal information contained in the storage space. If the operator has a reasonable belief that the storage space contains personal information, the operator is prohibited from holding a lien sale and may destroy the personal information without liability to any person. But before taking possession of any personal property sold, a purchaser must acknowledge that any of the contents contains personal information. The purchaser will return the personal information to the operator. The committee reviewed, spoke. to witnesses. Unfortunately, I don't have the list of witnesses, but if anyone is interested, happy to provide that for third reading. And the vote of the committee is in favor of this 4-0-1. And we recommend and ask for your support. Thank you.
The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? Senator from Addison is recognized.
Madam President, may I inquire of the reporter of the bill?
You may.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm looking at page 5 of the version that was passed out. The Committee on Economic Development recommends that no changes. Okay, so on page 5, this paragraph C1, where it talks about the $10, it says a rent service period. It mentioned the service period. In your report, you mentioned, Madam President, you mentioned that the service period was 1 month. But I don't see a definition of the service period in the bill. Is there an assumption that it's a month, or could a rental, self-storage, what rental place say the service period is a day and charge $20 a day?
Certainly the standard within the industry is for a monthly period. I'm looking in the bill myself right now. I don't see. That certainly was the expectation that it was a monthly period rather than any shorter period of time.
Okay, maybe we can explore this a little bit
I will
more
explore
before
that
third
before third
reading,
reading.
because I'm just
Absolutely.
curious if there's a loophole that was unintended. And then the second question I had is on page 8 regarding the advertising. And the saying that they shall, for 2 weeks, advertise, this is paragraph A, about 2/3 of the way down, 2 weeks, consecutive weeks in the print or electronic version of a newspaper. So does that mean that, take my district, for example, the Addison Independent is published both in print and online. They could advertise either in the print version or the online version, not some random website.
Yes.
Okay, so it would still require
Yes.
some kind of advertisement in the local paper.
Yes.
Okay. However, on the next page, page 9, it says, if there is no newspaper of general circulation, who makes the determination about a newspaper of general circulation? The owner of the self-storage unit?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just concerned, you mentioned in your report, Madam President, that there's a decline in newspaper reading. And one of the reasons is because of the unintended consequences of us and others making decisions that deny our local papers of revenue, and therefore they become less likely and less able to circulate and print every week. And I'm concerned that we're doing more to undermine their financial stability. So I just want to make sure that there are safeguards in place. I guess maybe we should talk a little bit more before third reading on that one as well. But thank you to the reporter, and thank you, Madam President.
Question is, shall the bill be read the third time? The senator from Washington is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. On that point, because I share the concerns from the senator from Addison, if you look at D on page 9, it says as an alternative to the advertisement required in subdivision AC, that's the requirement for the newspaper. You can post it at a random website as long as 2, 3 or more independent parties attend and view the sale. So I share the concern about the health of newspapers, and I'll talk to the presenter of the bill about a list of witnesses to see if that and another question I have were addressed. Thank you.
Question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? Sorry, the senator from Franklin is
Madam
recognized.
President, just in response to concerns of newspapers, it is impossible for a self-storage operator to place an ad in a newspaper that doesn't exist. And there are places within Vermont where there are no local newspapers. And that's not the self-storage operator's fault. And the issue then becomes, if such a newspaper is available, there is a requirement that the ads be placed in that newspaper or in its online equivalent. We have newspapers, for example, in Vermont that used to publish daily, that now publish twice a week, in some cases once a week, but virtually all those newspapers also have an electronic edition. In many cases, those electronic editions are the only place that ads of this type can be placed because they're not available to be placed in the publication that's actually sold to the public. So what this bill envisions is if there is such a newspaper, there's a requirement that it be placed there. But if there isn't, we did not feel that it was appropriate to ask a operator to place an ad in a non-consistent newspaper.
The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've ordered third reading of H74. We now have H244. I'll pause for a request to pass over. H244, an act relating to authorizing the natural and the natural organic reduction of human remains. It was referred to the Committee on Economic Development, Housing and General Affairs, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the bill ought to pass.
Madam President,
The senator from Wyndham is recognized.
please request that the senator from Addison, the senior citizen.
There has been, Senator Bray, I'm also going to say, we have had, with the volume turned up in the chamber in order to hear you and to hear senators joining us remotely, anytime there is any email coming in, there's a noise, or your phone, if you're receiving a text message, there is a noise, so we hear it. And so I'm going to again ask, please, to mute or to turn off any electronics. Thank you. The bill was then referred to the Committee on Finance. It reports it has considered the bill and recommends the bill ought to pass. Please listen to the second reading of H244.
H244, an act relating to authorizing the natural organic reduction of human remains.
The senator from Chittenden, Senator Ram Hinsdale, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs.
Thank you, Madam President. As we were taking up this bill in committee, I made the happy mistake of mentioning that I had always done the burial bills in the other chamber as well. And it does tickle me in some way that 14 years later, after a decade in the legislature, one of the last bills I report will be on disposition of human remains. It demonstrates that it is an issue that is never truly put to rest. And on a more serious note, I think many of us can appreciate that how we choose our final resting place and in what disposition is one of the most sacred decisions that we ever make. And over the years, there have been continued efforts to try and give people opportunities to make decisions about their final resting place and their final disposition of their remains in a way that's aligned with their religious and their spiritual beliefs, as well as their principles and generally held beliefs. And so I think this bill takes a major step forward in that regard. H244 authorizes the use of natural organic reduction, or NOR, in Vermont, and that refers to the contained accelerated conversion of human remains into soil. This creates parity between the rights and responsibilities of NOR operators and operators of crematories. It uses the joint term disposition facility for facilities providing NOR or cremation services, and has an additional request of OPR to add them to the licensure process. Much of this bill is changing those definitions from crematorium and crematory to disposition facility. They're therefore broadening what is considered a disposition facility to now include NOR. And so there's a lot of references that I will not list specifically. I will just go through other provisions that are relevant in my section by section. In section 2, 18 VSA 5201 subsection B, this adds NOR to existing prohibition on cremating a dead human body unless the passage of 24 hours has occurred after death, unless there is an exception that is met. Subsection C adds NOR to the existing requirement that the person in charge of the body shall not release for cremation the body of a person who died in Vermont unless the person in charge received a certificate from the medical examiner's office that no further exam is needed. And it additionally adds NOR to the existing requirement that the person requesting such final disposition pay the Vermont Department of Health $25. In subsection D, it adds NOR to the existing requirement that for cremations requested for the body of a person who died outside of Vermont, the operator of a disposition facility must obtain a permit for transit or cremation and comply with the laws of the state in which the person died. Section 518 VSA is where you see another critical definition that broadens what we mean by final disposition, and that is, it replaces where such a body is to be buried, cremated, or entombed with the location of the body's permanent disposition. And in section 6, that, again, I keep saying final disposition, but we are changing that language to permanent disposition as well. Again, we have more definitions generally until you get to section 9. Where we also replace burials, interments, and cremations with the permanent disposition of human remains. Section 1118 VSA 5319 includes a subsection C that accepts NOR from the existing requirement that the permanent disposition of human remains not be made in a single chamber, vault, or tomb wholly or partially above the surface of the ground, unless any portion below the natural surface of the ground be of permanent character and sealed permanently to prevent escape of effluvia. And I will pause to say I remember all of these bills and why they matter, whether they're about mausoleums or other structures for remains that can cause effluvia. So if people have other questions, I'm also happy to answer those. Subsection D adds NOR to existing law that cremated remains can be deposited into a niche, columbarium, mausoleum, or buried or disposed of in any manner that is not contrary to any existing law. Moving to section 1926 VSA 1211. This is where in subsection C, we list alkaline hydrolysis and NOR as activities that personnel at a disposition facility may perform. In section 23, which is 26 VSA 1252, it adds alkaline hydrolysis and NOR to the existing requirements that a person engaging in the direct handling, processing, identification, or cremation of dead human remains within a licensed disposition facility shall register with OPR and pay a fee. And then sections 24 through 27 deal generally with that licensure and those fees. And so there are no new fees being created, nor are the amounts of the fees being changed by this law. It is simply, in many cases, replacing crematory establishments and crematorium fees with the language around a overall disposition facility. Finally, section 28, the effective dates, this act takes effect January 1st, 2023, except section 27 around the fees, because those fees are in effect beginning June 30th, 2023, so it would follow the general fee schedule. And the director of OPR is directed to adopt any rules necessary to perform the duties under the act prior to the effective date. We had a short list of witnesses on this bill: our legislative counsel, the Vermont Funeral Directors Association, and the reporter of the bill from the House. Our vote was 4-0-1, and we ask for the body support.
The senator from Chittenden, Senator Pearson, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Finance.
Thank you, Madam President. As the reporter just alluded, there are fees in here, but none of the fees changed. So Senate Finance reviewed. If senators want to follow along, starting on page 33, you'll see fees listed, but simply the terminology that is changing, not the fees itself. On a vote of 5-0-2, Senate Finance agreed to advance the bill as it was presented. Thank you.
The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? The senator from Rutland is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. May I inquire of the reporter of the bill?
You may.
Madam President, I just heard that during testimony the committee heard from the Funeral Directors Association. I was wondering, Madam President, if they were in favor of or opposed the concept of this natural organic reduction of human remains and the idea behind it, please.
Madam President, I would either request a short recess or to know if we are advancing this bill through all stages of passage, just so I don't mischaracterize the testimony received from the Vermont Funeral Directors Association.
I think probably safest to take a brief recess right now. And I will stand in recess until the fall of the gavel. Senate will please come to order. Returning from a brief recess, and the senator from Chittenden is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. There has often been nuance in the perspective and support from the Vermont Funeral Directors Association. So I just wanted to confirm that they are in full support and plan on folding this into their association and see it as an economic development opportunity. And apparently others may know more about that than I do, because it was a report on Vermont Public Radio yesterday about how this is going to be folded into our burial and disposition processes in Vermont.
Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
Ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And you've ordered third reading of H 244. We now have on the calendar H 477.
Madam President,
The senator from Wyndham is recognized.
I would like to inquire of the senator from Chittenden, Senator Rom Hinsdale, if she would like a break. We're doing back-to-back.
I'm good.
On ahead here. We now have on the calendar for action H 477, an act relating to leave for crime victims. It was read for the first time on February 11th. It was referred to the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs, which reports has considered the bill and recommends the bill ought to pass. Please listen to the second reading of H 477.
H 477, an act relating to leave for crime victims.
The senator from Chittenden, Senator Ron Hinsdale, is again recognized for the report of the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs.
Thank you, Madam President, and I appreciate the consideration of our President Pro Tem. This is the shortest bill that I am reporting today, and it is technical in nature, but it is a very important technical correction for those seeking relief from abuse or stalking and other forms of safety that our state is able to provide. I can summarize the bill in 2 sentences since it is also only 3 pages. H477 corrects an error in the language of Vermont's crime victims leave statute that made some alleged victims of a crime ineligible for job protected leave to attend a related criminal proceeding or a relief from abuse and stalking order process. H477 also permits the immediate family members of an alleged victim of a violent crime to attend a related proceeding. We heard from our legislative counsel and the reporter of the bill in the House. Our vote was 401, and I'd be happy to go more through the sections, but I think that can best be done in the form of questions. This is a very short bill and technical in nature, Madam President.
The question is, shall the bill be read the 3rd time? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've ordered 3rd reading of H477. We now have on the calendar for action H559. H559, an act relating to workers' compensation, read for the first time on February 11th. It was referred to the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the bill ought to pass. It was then referred to the Committee on Finance, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the bill ought to pass. Please listen to the 2nd reading of H559.
H559, an act relating to workers' compensation.
The senator from Chittenden, Senator Sorokin, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs.
Thank you, Madam President. The previous speaker said she had a short bill. This one's even shorter. I'm going to date myself a little bit. The history of this bill goes back to the Cunin administration, where we followed other states in imposing a surcharge on employers' premiums for workers' comp to fund the administration of the workers' compensation program. It had previously been funded through the general fund. And every year since that date, I guess in the 1980s, we set the rate as to what that surcharge would be. Last year it was 1.4%, and this bill is going to 1.5%. Self-insured folks don't pay premiums. They have losses in their workers' compensation program, and they are subject to a separate rate, which for many years now has been set at 1%. So the sum total of this bill is raising the surcharge from 1.4% to 1.5%. Overall, workers' comp premiums in this state are about, I believe, the yield on this 1.5% is about $200 million, which pays for, excuse me, I think it's $2 million, which pays for the administration of the workers' compensation, not the benefits of the program, but for the administration. There was some discussion, Senator from Washington will talk about the Finance Committee, but there was some discussion whether it's possible that more money is necessary over the years has been brought under this rate, but the response from the department was that they need these reserves they have to pay for their IT system. That's the sum total of the bill, is to raise sufficient funds to pay for administration of the workers' comp program. Thank you.
The senator from Washington, Senator Cummings, recognized for the report of the Committee on Finance.
Thank you, Madam President. This was probably the shortest bill that came to Finance, and it took one of the longer discussions. We do this every year. It's usually a yes, no, and it's out the door. I don't think it's ever gone in less than unanimous, but there is a significant amount of money on the bottom line, and that caused concern. So we took some more testimony, and the money on the bottom line is there. There was a special assessment, 2016, 17, for modernization, read that, upgrading the computer, getting all the written workers' comp on. That has dragged on, mostly from the availability of state personnel. It's gotten slowed down by COVID. And the reason for the increase is that, fortunately, workers' comp rates have been going down, premiums have been going down. So the 1.4 is not bringing in as much money as it used to be. The amount of money that's going into the office is stable. And so the request to move it to 1.5 was approved, but the vote in the committee was 322.
The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. No. Ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you've ordered third reading of H 559. We now have on the calendar S91, an act relating to the Parent-Child Center Network. The House has proposed to the Senate to amend the bill as set forth on page 35 of today's calendar. And the underlying question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal amendment on S91? Senator from Chittenden, Senator Lyons is recognized for the report of the committee.
Thank you, Madam President. In consultation with most members of the committee, we will concur with the proposal that's come to us from the House. As you recall, parent-child centers provide very important core services for families and children, including those listed on page 5537 of today's calendar. The work that parent-child centers do is prevention-focused and trauma-informed, and allows for some referral programs, for example, to help parents as they come into the parent-child centers. They may refer them to state programs that may be of further support in addition to what parent-child centers do. The bill that came back to us has some changes to the definitions that are improvements to those definitions. There's also, as the parent-child centers become standardized through a national standards and through a cohesive network in Vermont, this allows for the Secretary of Agency of Human Services, you'll see on page 5536, to review each center every 6 years to ensure that they're carrying out the charge that exists in the statute. In addition to that, parent-child centers undergo a 3-year peer review. There are some changes to language that are, I would say, improvements overall. And so the Committee on Health and Welfare recommends that we concur with the proposal that's come to us from the House. Thank you very much, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S91? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you concur with the House proposal of amendment on S91. We now have S173. An act relating to the State House art collection. The House has proposed to the Senate to amend the bill as set forth on page 5538 of today's calendar. And again, the underlying question, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment on S173? And the Senator from Worcester, Senator Clarkson, is recognized for the report.
Thank you, Madam President. As people may recall, S173 updates aspects of the statutes concerning the Legislative Advisory Committee on the State House and clarifies the statutes around the working relationship between the Sergeant at Arms and the state. And I'm just going to go through the changes, the summary of the changes made. In section 1, it updates the name of the Vermont Arts Council. So there are a lot of technical additions they made. It mostly clarifies things. They add a few pieces, which I'll go through, but it's mostly clarification. Anyway, It adds, and also in this section, it adds a conflict of interest provision, providing that a member of the subcommittee shall not vote on a matter regarding any activities or duties that the member is responsible for discharging. In 653, it removes the committee's authority to oversee all activities related to the State House collections and instead clarifies the authority to review, coordinate, and make recommendations on these activities, as well as on the building and its interior refurbishing, renovation, preservation, and expansion. It clarifies that the state curator develops the collections policy that is approved by the committee. It removes the authority of the committee to establish subcommittees. It removes the requirement that we enter into an MOU with the Joint Legislative Management Committee and the partners on the State House. There are concerns about delegated authority here. We will review that further next year. Section 2, under the Legislative Advisory Committee on the State House roles and responsibilities, they have added a study. They add a report directing the Legislative Advisory Committee on the State House to review the roles and responsibilities of the state curator, the sergeant at arms, the Friends of the State House, and submit a report to the House, to the various committees of jurisdiction next year. In section 3, it amends aspects to the sergeant at arms duties. It makes the technical correction, and it updates a list format for clarity on the list of activities that the sergeant at arms is not responsible for, like structural repairs, capital improvements, etc. Section 4 amends, it removes, under the state curator's duties, it removes the reference to specific items that they're responsible for overseeing. And it also adds historic artifacts to the state curator's duties to acquire, manage, and care for. It clarifies that the state curator develop a collection policy in coordination with the experts, and that the collections policy includes the acquisition of all art, including historic artifacts and furnishings, and the commissioning of art and furnishings. And it adds a requirement that the collections policy that is developed by the state curator take into account Vermont's diverse people in history. This language is, anyway. And the effective date, it amends the effective date to provide that the currently serving legislative members of the committee shall continue to serve until the end of this biennium. That is necessary because the committee membership has changed from 4 to 3. Your Senate Government Operations Committee asks you to join us in concurring with the House on these amendments. Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S-173? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you concur with the House proposal of amendment on S-173. We now have on the calendar S-181. An act relating to authorizing miscellaneous regulatory authority for municipal governments. The House has proposed to the Senate to amend the bill as set forth on page 5543 of today's calendar. Again, the underlying question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S-181? And the senator from Windsor is recognized for the report of the Committee on Government Operations.
Thank you, Madam President. This bill, as you will recall, S-181, it is our municipal bill from Senate Government Operations. It makes changes to general law to enable more towns to meet their needs without having to create a charter or go through a charter change. And it takes some of the best creative changes made in charters and lets other towns benefit from those. The House has made some changes, which we are hoping we will concur with. In section 1, it adds health and safety and physical injury to the standards that towns can adopt in dealing with oversight of premises. In section 2, it removes the ability for towns to remove abandoned vessels, which is bad, but there we are. In sections 3, 4, and 5, there are very minor changes in language. In section 6, we remove and allow for the recall provisions of officials. In section 7, this section was removed. They totally obliterated our ability for towns to levy a local option tax. And in section 10, they removed the ability of towns to set local speed limits. Unclear why. Section 11, they removed the ability for the towns to set attendance policies. And so with those, we will live to fight some of these battles another day, but with this, and at this point in our session, your Senate Government Operations Committee is asking that you join us in concurring with these changes on S-181.
The question then is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S-181? Are you ready for the question? Senator from Chittenden is recognized.
I inquire of the reporter.
You may.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm looking at number 13 on the bottom of page 5543, and this is for public safety. So we're not talking, are we talking about in any way homes or trailers that are occupied? How does this section work, Madam President? If I may inquire of the reporter.
You may.
Reporter wishes.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not calling where you are. You're on
yes,
44, Madam President.
On page, Madam President, 5543.
Oh, 43.
Number 13, which is to compel the cleaning and repair of any premises. And I would hope someone would do this for my house. I'd like to get it cleaned before I go home. But is this, is this in the context of the public health officer, or trying to sort that one out?
I will be corrected, but I believe, Madam President, that this enables the towns to create ordinances to ensure the health and safety of premises, buildings in their towns that can impact the grand list value, can impact community morale, and can impact safety, and that can be physically injurious to the residents of the town. This enables an ordinance to be written that includes these aspects.
All right, thank you, Madam President. So it's an ordinance that then would go through the usual public process.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S-181? The senator from Chittenden is recognized.
Madam President, I might inquire of the reporter of the bill.
You may.
Madam President, I remember seeing a lot of emails regarding concerns from the Vermont League of Cities and Towns and some towns in my district about this local sales option tax. I heard the reporter say something about that language being removed. I wonder if the reporter, Madam President, might offer additional commentary on what was removed, where that landed, and any additional perspective on how the Vermont League of Cities and Towns feels about where this bill now is in pertaining to local options taxes.
Madam President, the Senate, as you will recall, supported allowing towns to levy their own local option tax. The other body is famously not keen on the same provision. And so they have removed it. There is no provision for it to go forward in any other bill. And it is why we need to be reelected to take these issues up and triennium.
I'd agree with that, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S-181? Are you ready for the question?
President.
The senator from Bennington is recognized.
Madam President, I just wanted to speak on the local option tax. It's something that I've personally been working on along with so many other senators for probably a quarter century. And I'm using that term just so folks are aware of how long we have been arguing with the other body about the exact, again, that we don't have that local option. And I agree with the senator from Windsor that it's important those of us who support it come back and continue the fight for another day. But I don't know how many more years I have left working on this bill.
Are you ready for the question? The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S 181? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've concurred with the House proposal of amendment on S 181. S 201 is next on the calendar for action. S 201 is an act relating to best management practices for scrapping. The House has proposed to the Senate to amend the bill as set forth on page 5552 of today's calendar. And the underlying question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S 201? The senator from Addison, Senator Bray, is recognized for the report of the committee.
Thank you, Madam President. Our president concluded that I'd be asking to cover all of the committee members on this. So I would ask that we have a brief recess, and I would ask that members of Senate Natural Resources and Energy come over to the virtual huddle. If they could join me at the screen that is behind the senators from Caledonia, we could have a brief discussion about the provisions and be prepared to report out on 201 and 281.
The Senate will stand in recess until the fall of the gavel. The Senate will please come to order. We're returning from a brief recess, and the senator from Addison, Senator Bray, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. The Senate Natural Resources and Energy Committee has reviewed the proposals of amendments on the House and recommends on vote of 500 that we concur. The changes were modest and clarifying language was added to this bill, which we support.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S 201? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay.
No.
Ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you concur with the House proposal of amendment on S 201. We have on the calendar today S 281. An act relating to hunting coyotes with dogs. The House has proposed to the Senate to amend the bill as set forth on page 5554 of the calendar. The underlying question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S 281? The senator from Addison, Senator Bray, is recognized for the report.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, the Senate Natural Resources and Energy Committee has met and reviewed the proposal of amendment from the House on S 281, activating to hunting coyotes with dogs, and recommends the Senate concur. In this case, though, I do want to note that there is a substantive change, and that is the addition of the allowance when hunting to use gun suppressors for a period of 2 years, after which that allowance is sunsetted. I conferred with the chair of the Judiciary Committee, as it often has an interest in matters related to guns, and he is supporting the position of the Senate Natural Resources and Energy Committee. Thank you.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S 280? The senator from Chittenden is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. When I saw the changes the House had made, I was initially of a negative mindset about it. It seemed to me, as often happened over the last decades, that we were putting more gear in more hands in more situations. And I worried about the fact that suppressors could, in certain situations, reduce safety around guns, whether in the woods or in the case of a mass shooting. So I talked at some length with representatives from the House sponsoring the bill, Ledge Council, and I was reassured, if senators look on page 5557, this limits the new use of suppressors to taking game and the act of taking game. The situation that I was worried about is that, as everyone knows, when we talk about hunting, some people believe hunting with a semi-automatic weapon is a thing. Other people don't believe that constitutes hunting, but rather something else. I worried that this language would allow someone with a semi-automatic weapon to have a suppressor in situations that were dangerous, to put it simply. But again, after talking with Ledge Council, I don't believe that to be the case. It seems to me limited to the act of taking game and hunting. After conferring with Representative Till, among others, Representative Brennan, I take their points about loss of hearing, and overall, the coyote language is not what I was hoping for, and the suppressor language is not what I was hoping for. But taken together, they are, I think, either an improvement or something that will not be injurious. So I find myself, oddly enough, in support of the bill. And I will just finish by saying that I think people on the gun safety side and people on the gun rights side should each grant the other a measure of good faith. And in this case, I think this is offered in good faith, and I will vote for it in good faith. Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment on S 281? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
Ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you concur with the House proposal of amendment on S 281. That does complete the calendar thus far for today. The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I ask that the rules be suspended and that we message our on page 465, act relating to board commission, H 512, an act relating to modernizing land records in what is it?
Notarial.
Notarial Act Law, H 533, an act relating to converting civil forfeiture of property and drug-related prosecutions into a criminal process, and H 739, an act relating the capital construction and state bonding budget adjustment to the House forthwith.
The senator from Wyndham has moved that the rules be suspended and the following bills be messaged to the House forthwith. H 465, H 512, H 533, and H 739. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've suspended the rules and messaged H 46, H 512, H 533, and H 739 to the House forthwith. Senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I ask that the rules be suspended and that we message our actions on S91, an act relating to the Parent-Child Center Network, S173, an act relating to the State House Art Collection, S181, an act relating to authorizing miscellaneous regulatory authority for municipal governments, S201, an act relating to best management practices for trapping, and S281, an act relating to hunting coyotes with dogs, to the governor forthwith.
The senator from Wyndham has moved that the rules be suspended and the following bills be messaged to the governor. S91, S173, S181, S201, and S281. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you suspended the rules and messaged S91, S173, S181, S201, and S281 to the governor. Senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Pending announcements, I move that the Senate stand in adjournment until 2:30 this afternoon.
The senator from Wyndham has moved that, subject to any announcements, the Senate to adjourn until 2:30 p.m. today, Wednesday, May 11th. Are there any announcements? The senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the rules be suspended, particularly Senate Rule 93, and that the gubernatorial appointments listed in today's calendar pages 5575, 5576, 5577, the ones that are not underlined be confirmed together as a group by the Senate without reports by the committees to which they were referred and without debate.
The senator from Wyndham has moved that the rules be suspended and the gubernatorial appointments that are not underlined and listed on pages 5575, 5576, and 5577 be confirmed by the Senate as a group. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've suspended the rules, and will now take up the appointments. We'll vote on the appointments of those listed on pages 5575 to 5577 as a group. The question then is, shall the Senate confirm the appointments of the gubernatorial appointments of those listed on page 5575 through 5577 as a group, or shall you confirm them? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and you confirm the appointments of those the gubernatorial appointments of those listed on pages 5575 through 5577 calendar. The senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I would now ask that we take up for confirmation and reports the underlined, the four that are underlined. And I believe everybody is ready to report their confirmations.
We have an appointment reported out of committee to take up for confirmation. This is the appointment of James Riley Allen of Montpelier as member of the Public Utility Commission. The question is, shall the appointment of James Riley Allen of Montpelier as member of the Public Utility Commission be confirmed by the Senate? The senator from Addison, Senator Bray, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Finance.
Thank you, Madam President. It is my genuine pleasure to report on the nomination, recommend confirmation on the part of the Senate to James Riley Allen to the position of Commissioner on the Public Utility Industry. Riley Allen has over 30 years of experience analyzing and advising on power sector and regulatory issues. As both an economist and a utility regulator, Mr. Allen's expertise covers a wide range of issues, including integrated resource planning, forecasting, electric utility industry restructuring, alternate forms of regulation, transmission planning, utility investment in advanced metering and dynamic pricing, renewable energy tariffs, and energy efficiency planning. For more than 2 decades, he played an active role in major state-level policy investigations, acting as an economist, expert witness, and hearing examiner. At the Regulatory Assistance Project, as a research director, Mr. Allen oversaw global research best practices covering a wide range of regulatory and energy policy concerns. As the Public Service Department's Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Allen led the department's role to shape innovation and shape of regulations covering Vermont's largest utility. And most recently, has led efforts to reshape grid design, position Vermont for our evolving energy future. Mr. Allen holds a master's in economics from the University of Virginia, as well as a bachelor's in economics from the University of Florida. The Senate Finance Committee recommends his confirmation. The vote was 7-0-0. Thank you.
The question is, shall James Riley Allen of Montpelier be confirmed as member of the Public Utility Commission? Are you ready for the question? The senator from Rutland is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I believe it is customary for us to ask for roll calls on the candidates who are underlined. And if that's true, I would so request.
The senator from Rutland has requested a roll call vote. When ready, the secretary is kindly asked to call the roll.
Senator Ballant.
Yes.
Senator Baruch.
Yes.
Senator Benning. Yes. Senator Bray.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
Yes.
Senator Campion. Senator Chittenden.
Yes.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Collmore.
Yes.
Senator Cummings.
Yes.
Senator Hardy.
Yes.
Senator Hooker.
Yes.
Senator Ingalls.
Yes.
Senator Kitchell. Senator Lyons.
Yes.
Senator McDonald. Senator Mazza.
Yes.
Senator McCormick.
Yes.
Senator Nitzka.
Yes.
Senator Parent.
Yes.
Senator Pearson.
Yes.
Senator Perschlick.
Yes.
Senator Polina.
Yes.
Senator Ron Hinsdale.
Yes.
Senator Sears.
Yes.
Senator Sorotkin.
Yes.
Senator Starr.
Yes.
Senator Terenzini. Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator White.
Yes.
Senator Campion. Senator McDonald.
Yes.
Senator Terenzini.
Please listen to the result of your vote. The yeas 28, the nays 0, and you've confirmed the appointment of James Riley Allen as member of the Public Utility Commission. The senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I hate to interrupt this, but I just got passed a note by a relatively new senator, who asked what's the difference between those underlined and those not underlined? And many people might not know. Those that are underlined are usually in judicial or quasi-judicial positions, or they're secretaries or commissioners. And we really need to vet them more thoroughly. The non-underlined ones you tend to be board members.
And there's further information about that at the top of page 5575. We now have the appointment of Jennifer Samuelson of Shelburne as Secretary of the Agency of Human Services. The question is, shall the appointment of Jennifer Samuelson as Secretary of the Agency of Human Services be confirmed by the Senate? The senator from Chittenden, Senator Lyons, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Health and Welfare.
Thank you, Madam President. Jenny Samuelson of Shelburne was appointed to serve initially in June 2020 as Deputy Secretary for the Agency of Human Services, and more recently has been appointed to become Secretary of the AHS. She's played an integral role in COVID and the whole COVID response process. Prior to her appointment, she served as Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Vermont Health Access, which oversees Medicaid and focuses on the intersection of payment and delivery system reform. She also looks at the adoption of value-based payments and organizational performance improvement. Jenny was particularly interested in evaluating resources within the Agency of Human Services to make a determination about improvements in that agency. Jenny was a founding leader of the Vermont Blueprint for Health during the development of key healthcare reforms, that is, patient-centered medical homes, regional community health teams, complex care models, and more recently, the hub and spoke system of care that we're all familiar with, particularly with respect to substance use disorder and opioid disorder. Throughout her career, Jenny has administered numerous community and statewide public health programs, including programs for healthcare workforce development, tobacco cessation in health systems, lead poisoning prevention, long-term care. She holds a Master's of Science in Community Health Education from Southern Illinois University. As we talked with Jenny, it became clear she's very interested in healthcare reform initiatives, the public engagement process associated with those, and explained the importance of the work that it will be ongoing in the near future once S-285 is put into law. Madam President, the Committee on Health and Welfare voted 401 to confirm Jenny Samuelson as Secretary of the Agency of Human Services. We ask the Senate to concur.
The question is, shall the appointment of Jennifer Samuelson as Secretary of the Agency of Human Services be confirmed by the Senate? Are you ready for the question?
Roll call, please.
The senator from Rutland has requested a roll call vote. The Secretary, when ready, is kindly asked to call the roll.
Senator Ballant.
Yes.
Senator Baruth.
Yes.
Senator Benning.
Yes.
Senator Bray.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
Yes.
Senator Campion. Senator Chittenden.
Yes.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Collimore.
Yes.
Senator Cummings.
Yes.
Senator Hardy.
Yes.
Senator Hooker.
Yes.
Senator Ingalls.
Yes.
Senator Kitchell. Senator Lyons.
Yes.
Senator McDonald.
Yes.
Senator Mazza. Senator McCormick.
Yes.
Senator Nitka.
Yes.
Senator Parent.
Yes.
Senator Pearson.
Yes.
Senator Perschlich.
Yes.
Senator Polina.
Yes.
Senator Rom Hinsdale.
Yes.
Senator Sears.
Yes.
Senator Sorotkin.
Yes.
Senator Starr. Senator Terenzini. Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator White.
Yes.
Senator Campion. Senator Starr. Senator Terenzini.
Yes.
Please listen to the results of your vote. The yeas 28, the nays 0, and you've confirmed the appointment of Jennifer Samuelson as Secretary of the Agency of Human Services. This is the appointment of Thomas Walsh of Colchester as member of the Vermont Green Mountain Care Board. The question is, shall the appointment of Thomas Walsh as member of the Vermont Green Mountain Care Board be confirmed by the Senate? The senator from Addison, Senator Hardy, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Health and Welfare.
Madam President, in the fall of 2021, Thomas Walsh was appointed for a 6-year term on the Green Mountain Care Board, which is the state's healthcare regulatory board that is charged with reviewing and approving hospital budgets, insurance rates, healthcare facility certificates of need, as well as regulating the all-payer accountable care organization and analyzing and evaluating comprehensive healthcare data. Walsh has professional experience with healthcare systems policy and patient care. He's a professor of health policy who holds appointments at the Dartmouth Institute for Health Policy and Clinical Practice and Boise State University's College of Health Science. Although he isn't currently practicing, Walsh is also a physical therapist and orthopedic clinical specialist who has practiced in a variety of areas around the country, including at the River Valley Club and Dartmouth Hitchcock in New Hampshire. Much of Walsh's professional career has been dedicated to healthcare consulting. He is a senior expert on health system transformation at the Joint Commission Center for Transforming Healthcare. He's been a consultant to several high reliability organizations, including the Veterans Health Administration. Madam President, I did not know what a high reliability organization was, but he talks about it a lot in his resume. It is an organization that operates in a complex, high-risk domain, including a healthcare setting, for extended periods without serious accident or catastrophic failures. So, he previously founded and served as Chief Strategy Officer for Cardinal Point Healthcare Solutions, a healthcare consulting firm that provided support and expertise to these such high reliability clients, including the U.S. Navy Medicine, One Health Nebraska, the Connecticut Institute for Primary Care Innovation, and Maine Medical Center. Walsh holds a doctorate in health policy from Dartmouth and a board certification from the American Physical Therapy Association. While there were some concerns expressed by committee members about Walsh's somewhat disjointed work history and lack of direct hospital clinical experience, the committee ultimately did support his appointment. I'm hopeful that Dr. Walsh can grow into the role as a statewide healthcare regulator by focusing on engaged listening, collaboration, and humility. Your Senate Health and Welfare recommends the full Senate approval of Thomas Walsh's appointment to the Green Mountain Care Board on a vote of 4-0.
Good leadership.
The question is, shall the appointment of Thomas Walsh as member of the Vermont Green Mountain Care Board be confirmed by the Senate? Are you ready for the question?
Roll call, please.
Senator from Rutland has requested a roll call vote. The Secretary, when ready, is kindly asked to call the roll.
Senator Ballant.
Yes.
Senator Baruth.
Yes.
Senator Benning.
Yes.
Senator Bray.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
Yes.
Senator Campion. Senator Chittenden.
Yes.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Collmore.
Yes.
Senator Cummings.
Yes.
Senator Hardy.
Yes.
Senator Hooker.
Yes.
Senator Ingalls.
Yes.
Senator Kitchell. Senator Lyons.
Yes.
Senator McDonald.
Yes.
Senator Mazza.
Yes.
Senator McCormick.
Yes.
Senator Nitka. Senator Parent.
Yes.
Senator Pearson.
Yes.
Senator Perschlich. Senator Polina.
Yes.
Senator Ron Hinsdale.
Yes.
Senator Sears. Senator Saratkin.
Yes.
Senator Starr. Senator Terenzini.
Yes.
Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator White.
Yes.
Senator Campion.
Yes.
Senator Starr.
Please listen to the results of your vote. The yeas 29, the nays 0, and you confirm the appointment of Thomas Walsh as a member of the Vermont Green Mountain Care Board. We have one more confirmation today. This is the confirmation of Daniel P. Richardson of Montpelier as Superior Court Judge. The question is, shall the appointment of Daniel Richardson as Superior Court Judge be confirmed by the Senate? And the senator from Chittenden, Senator Bruce, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm reporting on Daniel Richardson, who's been nominated to the Vermont Superior Court. Daniel Richardson holds a Bachelor of Arts from Ohio Wesleyan University. He was Phi Beta Kappa there, and he also holds a JD from Vermont Law School, where he was editor-in-chief of the Vermont Law Review. Senators may remember him from our discussion of the Racial Covenants Bill. He was one of the prime movers of that legislation, and the committee found him very helpful as that legislation went through the process. Richardson was appointed last August as city attorney and corporate counsel for the city of Burlington. Prior to being hired there, he was a partner at Tarrant, Gillies, and Shems for 16 years, where he represented a wide variety of clients and municipalities. During that time, he served a number of volunteer roles, the Ward 3 City Councilor for Montpelier, chair of the Montpelier Development Review Board, president of the Vermont Bar Association, president of the Bar Foundation, Green Mountain Council of the BSA, and a member of the Access to Justice Coalition. The committee found him to be, on all points, experienced and promising as a Superior Court judge. Our vote was unanimous in support, and we hope the body will agree. Thank you.
Question is, shall the appointment of Daniel P. Richardson as Superior Court Judge be confirmed by the Senate? Are you ready for the question?
One last time, roll call, please.
The senator from Rutland has requested a roll call vote. When ready, the secretary is kindly asked to call the roll.
Senator Ballant.
Yes.
Senator Baruth.
Yes.
Senator Benning.
Yes.
Senator Bray.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
Yes.
Senator Campion.
Yes.
Senator Chittenden.
Yes.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Collimore.
Yes.
Senator Cummings.
Yes.
Senator Hardy.
Yes.
Senator Hooker.
Yes.
Senator Ingalls.
Yes.
Senator Kitchell.
Yes.
Senator Lyons.
Yes.
Senator McDonald. Senator Mazza.
Yes.
Senator McCormack.
Yes.
Senator Nitka.
Yes.
Senator Parent.
Yes.
Senator Pearson.
Yes.
Senator Perschlich. Senator Polina.
Yes.
Senator Ron Hinsdale.
Yes.
Senator Sears.
Yes.
Senator Saratkin.
Yes.
Senator Starr. Senator Terenzini.
Yes.
Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator White.
Yes.
Senator Starr.
Please listen to the results of your vote. The yeas 29, the nays 0, and you've confirmed the appointment of Daniel Richardson as Superior Court Judge. That does complete the confirmations. Are there any additional announcements this afternoon? The senator from Washington is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Last committee standing, Senate Finance will meet at 1:30.
The senator from Bennington is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Education will meet at 3 p.m.
The senator from Caledonia is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. If committee members from institutions could meet in institutions, I'd like to try to get a photograph with our committee assistant.
I do want to recall the motion from the senator from Wyndham was that the Senate adjourn until 2:30 PM today. Are there any additional announcements?
Madam President.
The senator from Bennington is recognized.
Mr. President, I wonder if I can have a short meeting with the senator from Chittenden and the senator from Wyndham on the H548 conference committee.
Is that a motion?
Oh, it was just an ask. Do that before we leave the room.
I thought so. Are there any additional announcements? The senator from Wyndham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I know senators are very curious about where we are at in the dance with the House and getting to the end of our time here. And so we're going to come back together at 2:30. We're going to continue to plow through our work. For those of you who have been in the Senate before, we haven't had a regular end of session in a couple years because of the pandemic. So I know it all feels a little bit strange, but when we get to this point, we often will recess for a short time, come back and do some more work, recess for a short time, come back and do some more work. We are planning to adjourn tomorrow night. I don't know exactly what time, it all depends, but we are not planning to be here on Friday. I just want to be really clear that we are planning to adjourn tomorrow night. So that's what we're focused on. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Are there any additional announcements? The senator from Wyndham has moved. The Senate stand and adjournment until 2:30 PM today, Wednesday, May 11th. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the Senate stands adjourned until 2:30 PM, Wednesday, May 11th.